Welcome back to another episode of TRIVI-yeah, the trivia podcast where you can learn something new, feel good about the things you already know. I am your host, Dean Felix. I feel great. Thank you for telepathically asking me. I'd like to know how you're feeling as well, but there's no way for you to tell me. Well, you could email. Yeah, you could email me. I'll give you the email in a little bit. First things first, the answer to the bonus question at the end of the first episode is free radicals. Free radicals. And if you don't know what the question was, then go back and listen to the first episode, because that gives me another play, and every play is a big win for us. We love it. We love it here. All of us here. I'm looking around. Just me here. Oh, the judges aren't here. Hell yeah. They're probably in the green room, eating all my delicious snacks. These judges, they love red vines. But you're here, and I am into that. Let me tell you what the show is. We are going to travel down the rabbit hole of trivia knowledge with 10 multiple choice questions. That whole rabbit hole thing just means that the answer or some part of each question will then lead to the subject matter of the question that follows. None of these questions were pulled from any old trivia board games, nor were they written by AI, artificial intelligence. No. Instead, these questions were written by AI, actual intelligence. Not a strong intelligence, but an intelligence, at least. I said last episode that I was going to share with you my personal goals this episode, since we are now, of course, best friends. I have 3 personal goals. Here they are. Goal number 1, be a guest on Doughboys, the podcast. I love that podcast. They review chain restaurants on it. It's funny as hell. It's not for kids, by the way, so if you've got kids listening, they shouldn't listen to that. But you should. It's so funny. Getting a spot on the couch and clogging my arteries next to the Spoon Man and Tiger Wagger, well, that would just be the highest honor of my life. And they would say that that is very, very sad, and they would be correct. Goal number 2, become friends with famous Nepo baby Jack Quaid. I don't know, he just seems so cool, funny, smart, and I bet he'd be a pretty good friend, right? Can't have too many of those. So Jack, hey, come on, let's hang out. I have red vines. Oh, well, I did. Goal number 3, I want to voice a cartoon character. This is probably the most attainable of the 3 goals. There's a lot of cartoons out there. Anime, I'm including all of that. Would a video game character count? Yes, especially if it's a AAA game. Yeah, I would count that. There it is, my 3 goals. What are yours? Email them to me, and email anything else you want to me at triviappodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word, triviappodcast. No dash, do not put in a dash. Okay, who's ready to play a little trivia? Let's do it, right after this. Welcome back to TRIVI-yeah! I'm Dean Felix. I recently rewatched the movie Serenity. Not the Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway disaster piece from 2019. I mean the Joss Whedon space western from 2005, which was a continuation/conclusion of his way too short-lived TV series Firefly. I really like this movie, and don't worry, I won't completely spoil it for you if you haven't seen it. Like the TV show, it has its cheesy moments, but hey, so do I. But the humor does really hit in it. Nathan Fillion stars as Captain Mal of the spaceship Serenity, and he's great. Second only to David Krumholtz, who steals the movie with his fantastic performance as Mr. Universe. Made even more impressive considering his character's on a video screen for most of it, so he's acting by himself for basically all of his scenes. But what really makes this movie work are the stakes. Characters die in this movie. Beloved characters from the TV show. Sorry, minor spoilers, I guess. One of them dies early in the final action sequence when they're all running for their lives, and it gives the other characters barely any time at all to reflect on the gravity of what just happened. They have to keep moving, and it makes the next scene so much more thrilling, because we, the audience, suddenly realize that one or maybe all of these characters that we love might die. And while the characters don't really have time to fully process this, they obviously understand it, and they're energized by it. They're energized by the sudden death of a loved one. Because before, they were fighting for their cause. But now they're fighting for each other. They're fighting for their future together. It's exhilarating and a little terrifying to watch. Good movie. It's time for question 1. Time for question 1. It's time for question 1. Serenity means the state of being calm, peaceful, and untroubled, which is the polar opposite of the climactic sequence of the movie I just described. But as a writer, if serenity is the goal of your characters, you need to ask, well, what's the opposite of that? And then start from there. This what's the opposite of that rule works for all writing, including regular comedy as well. In the TV show Seinfeld, George Costanza's father Frank would yell, "Serenity now!" at the top of his lungs whenever he got frustrated, which is, funny because yelling is the opposite of serenity. I don't need to explain comedy to you guys. So, what comedic actor played the short-tempered Frank Costanza on the sitcom Seinfeld? Was it A, Jerry Stiller, B, Patrick Warburton, C, Bob Einstein, or D, John Mahoney? The answer is A, Jerry Stiller. Jerry Stiller and his wife Ann Mira became famous as the comedy duo Stiller and Mira in the 60s, and it's no surprise that their talent was passed down to their kids, Amy and Ben. Ben Stiller has had a hugely successful comedic acting, writing, and directing career. But Amy Stiller's IMDb page is nothing to sneeze at either, and it's heartwarming to see her long list of credits to include seemingly all of Ben's productions. Hey, there are degrees to nepotism, okay? If you're good, you're good. Ben and Amy Stiller, they're good. Jack Quaid? Good. Zoe Kravitz? Good. Jaden Smith? Oh, hey, what's this button do?
No need for excitement or hullabaloo. It's just question 2.
Nepotism is nothing new. It's been around for as long as positions of power have. The word nepotism is from the Italian nepotismo, based on the Latin root nepos, which means nephew. And the British phrase, "Bob's your uncle," is thought to have originated from 1887 when the Prime Minister, Robert Bob Gascoigne Cecil, appointed his nephew, Arthur Balfour, as Chief Secretary for Ireland, a very prestigious position. When somebody says, "Bob's your uncle," they mean, and there you have it. And it's used when a simple or obvious conclusion is reached. The Brits have a lot of great colloquialisms, like this next one. When you're amazed by something, either good or bad, you might say that you are, what? A, knackered. B, gobsmacked. C, daft. D, rinsed. The answer is B, gobsmacked. Getting smacked in the gob will usually leave you momentarily stunned. I'm speaking from experience. Now, did I deserve to be gobsmacked? Hey, what does this button do? Question 3! The everlasting gobstopper was imagined by Roald Dahl for his 1964 children's novel Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and was a candy that changed colors and flavors as you suck it, though it never gets smaller or disappears. A few years after the 1971 adaptation Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory came out, Nestle introduced a real version of the candy to the public, though they never quite nailed the everlasting part. In the 1971 film, one of Wonka's associates disguises himself as Wonka's business rival, who attempts to get Charlie and the other children to steal an everlasting gobstopper for him. What is the name of this business rival and main antagonist of the film? A, Augustus Gloop. B, Phoenix Buchanan. C, Count Olaf. Or D, Arthur Slugworth. The answer is D, Arthur Slugworth. In Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Arthur Slugworth, played by Gunter Meisner, was actually Wonka employee Mr. Wilkinson. He would appear soon after each golden ticket was found and whisper his nefarious bargain into the winning child's ear. Now, how did he get to each of these locations so quickly? Simple. He traveled through the plot holes.
Why are we here? Where are we going? Who is behind all of this? What should I get for lunch? What is this question for?
Slugs and snails are both gastropod mollusks and are very similar to each other in many ways. And a lot of people think that a slug is just a snail without a shell. Not exactly true. There are habitat and behavioral differences between the two, but also the whole shell premise is wrong to begin with. Most slugs do have a shell. It's just inside the slug, near the back. Slugs in the Lamacidae and Parmacelidae families have internal vestigial shells that still serve some purpose in digestion and nutrient storage. This internal shell is one reason why, unlike snails, slugs aren't found on any fine dining menus. Too crunchy. You don't want to eat raw slugs or snails, by the way, as they often host parasites that can transfer to humans. Besides, that big banana slug only looks like a banana, and its slime will make your mouth go numb. Too crunchy, too slimy, not enough banana-y for me-y. Speaking of banana slugs, what U.S. Institute of Higher Education uses the vestigial shell-containing banana slug as its mascot? Is it A, UC Santa Cruz, B, Savannah College of Art and Design, C, Banning College, or D, Oregon State University? The answer is A, UC Santa Cruz. Like a lot of people, I first became aware of the UC Santa Cruz banana slugs from the film Pulp Fiction, when Vincent Vega, played by John Travolta, has to abandon his regular black suit for the opposite of that, a UC Santa Cruz banana slugs t-shirt. Now, despite the silly mascot, UC Santa Cruz is a serious university, with many famous alumni, including not-so-serious comedians Maya Rudolph and Andy Samberg. I wonder how they do at this trivia. Pretty good. They seem smart.
Hey, fellas, wait till you hear this. Oh my gosh. Don't say. I can't believe it.
What y'all talking about over there?
Nothing. We were just
Talking about question 5.
Well, shoot.
Santa Cruz is on the central California coastline and is technically considered to be part of Northern California, which includes the upper 2/3 of the state. Santa Cruz actually has a southern coastline, as it's situated on the northern edge of Monterey Bay, and it's a popular tourist destination with its boardwalk, amusement park, and pier, historic landmarks, and its beautiful beaches and radical surf culture. This surf culture was brought to Santa Cruz in the summer of 1885, when 3 princes visited and surfed the coast on boards carved from the local redwood lumber. But they didn't just bring surfing to Santa Cruz. This is believed to be the first instance of surfing in the United States overall. The impact of this short visit still resonates today, obviously, particularly in Santa Cruz, as surfers continue to ride the 11 world-class surf breaks on the Santa Cruz coast. So what island kingdom were these 3 surfing pioneer princes from? Is it A, the Kingdom of Tahiti, B, the Kingdom of Majorca, C, the Kingdom of Bora Bora, or D, the Hawaiian Kingdom? The answer is D, the Hawaiian Kingdom. Hawaii brought surfing to the States well before it became a state. David, Edward, and Jonah, who all have last names I will not attempt to pronounce, were on break from a military academy in the Bay Area, and they certainly made the most of their summer. I always had to get a summer job. But I grew up in Indianapolis, and the waves there, they're terrible.
Oh, bro. Bro, this is 6, bro. Bro, did you make this? Oh, bro! Bro, this is so 6! Is this your question? Bro, this question is 6!
Hawaii was settled by Polynesians around 1,000 years ago, and in 1810 became a unified, internationally recognized kingdom. This ended in 1893 after a coup d'etat overthrew the monarchy. This coup was led by a small group of American and European businessmen. And Bob's your uncle. With support from the United States Government Minister John L. Stephen, Attorney General Arthur P. Peterson, and some members of the Hawaiian government, including a Supreme Court justice, this 13-member council succeeded in staging a mostly bloodless coup, not counting the poor Hawaiian police officer who was shot while attempting to stop a wagon full of weapons being delivered to the council. So this council that overthrew the Hawaiian monarchy had a seemingly reassuring name. What was it? Was it A, the Committee of Safety, B, the Board of Transition, C, the Peace Brigade, or D, the Delegation of Prosperity? The answer is A, the Committee of Safety. Though the events happened 10 years before his birth, you have to admit the Orwellian nature of the name Committee of Safety kind of has shades of what's the opposite of that to it as well. The Republic of Hawaii was declared in 1894, leading to its annexation by the U.S. in 1898, and eventually became a state in 1959. In 1993, the U.S. government formally apologized for its role in the coup, so it's all good. Just a little whoopsie. Please enjoy the edible arrangement. Hi, I've got some great news. You just died and gone to question 7. The Safety Dance was released in 1982 by new wave synth pop band Men Without Hats and was an international hit, reaching number 1 on the Billboard dance chart. Writer and lead singer Ivan Doroshik has described it as a protest song against bouncers who are keeping people from doing a popular new dance at the time called pogoing, which has since evolved into the more violent version, slam dancing. Disco was in decline at the time, and the pogoing dancers would often crash into the remaining disco enthusiasts on the dance floor. I tried to find a video of this and failed, so if anyone has a link, please share. I'm dying to see this. Here is your question. What country is the band Men Without Hats from? Are they from A, England, B, South Africa, C, Canada, or D, Australia? The answer is C, Canada. Men Without Hats were originally a punk rock band, getting their start in Montreal in 1977. And if you go on their Wikipedia page, you'll see a picture of them performing. In this picture, the lead singer is wearing a very stylish hat, which really, I feel, speaks to their success. You know, because they can afford hats now. This feels like a good time to press a button. There we go, that's 20 points, plus I used all my tiles, so that's another 50 for 70 points.
Not a word.
Yes, it is.
It's not a word.
It is a word.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up.
All right.
I'll show you. I'll show you.
You'll see.
Oh my gosh, well, here it is. Look. To ask a lot of questions is to questionate.
I told you! I was always under the impression that a maker of hats for men was called a haberdasher. Not true. How humiliating. In the U.S., at least, a haberdasher sells suits, shirts, ties, dress shoes, and other men's clothing items, sometimes including hats. A person who makes men's hats is simply called a hatter, and the phrase mad as a hatter predates Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland with the character the Mad Hatter. So it must be a stressful job, and taking breaks for tea is crucial. A person who makes or sells hats for women traditionally has their own name. What is this occupation called? A, cordwainer. B, milliner. C, lapidary. D, perruquier. The answer is B, milliner. Originally, a milliner meant someone from Milan, namely a Milanese merchant who sold fancy bonnets and jewelry. Fancy hats aren't nearly as prevalent in modern times as they once were, but every time there's a royal wedding, the milliners get their time to shine. Now, technically, those formal headpieces worn to royal events aren't considered to be hats. They're called fascinators, appropriately. And there's also an intermediate form of fascinators that have a more substantial base and resemble more like actual hats. These are called, I'm not making this up, hatnators. Now, if you're a fan of hatnators, you never have to worry if they fall out of style, because they'll be back. Oh, I'm terrible at that.
Get to the chopper!
Nope. All right, no more doing that. The hardest part about being a trivia podcast host isn't coming up with the interesting questions. It's staying hydrated. So when I get thirsty, I always reach for a cool, refreshing glass of
Question 9.
The 19th century English author, poet, and mathematician Lewis Carroll was born Charles Lutwidge Dodgson, and his children's novel, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, has permeated popular culture since its release, going well beyond the many direct adaptations of the work to having an influence on unique pieces of modern art, such as the sci-fi action film franchise The Matrix and TRIVI-yeah. Perhaps you've heard of it. In Carol's sequel novel, Through the Looking Glass, Alice finds a book written in seemingly unintelligible language that she discovers can be read through the reflection of a mirror. It contains what is known as a nonsense poem, and this poem's whimsical language gave us the English nonsense words galumphing and chortle. What is the name of this nonsense poem Alice found in this book? Is it A, The Owl and the Pussycat, B, Jabberwocky, C, Hey Diddle Diddle, or D, The Trouble with Geraniums? The answer? B, Jabberwocky. Nonsense poems or nonsense verse, like Jabberwocky, usually have strong elements of rhythm and rhyme, and they're often humorous. Sometimes they contain nonsense words, but other times the words make sense, and it's the scenarios themselves that are nonsensical. As in the chorus to Edward Lear's poem, The Jumblies. I love that name, The Jumblies. Here's how it goes. far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. So, why are their heads and hands green and blue? I don't know. It's a nonsense poem. Look, their boat is a sieve. They've got more important things to worry about.
You must retrieve the relic, for without it we are all doomed. It can be found in the Forbidden Temple in the ancient city of Shun-Ten.
So, that would make this, Quest Shun-Ten then, huh?
You know what? Forget the relic. Just leave.
You've seen an ambulance before, so you should be familiar with mirror writing's practical applications, as the word ambulance is commonly mirror written on the front of the vehicle so that it can be clearly read through a rear view mirror. Some people can actually mirror write naturally. No, they're not freaks, but they are probably left-handed, as statistics have shown that a higher proportion of left-handed people are better at mirror writing than right-handed people. And also when they play tennis, the ball spins the other direction. It's not fair. Should not be allowed. The most notable mirror writer in history is this left-handed engineer, scientist, architect, painter, sculptor, as true a Renaissance man as there ever was. He is known for using mirror writing for most of his personal notes. Who is this famous Italian? A. Michelangelo. B. Donatello. C. Raphael. D. Leonardo da Vinci. The answer is D. Leonardo da Vinci. Some think Leonardo da Vinci used mirror writing to avoid ink smudges as he wrote from right to left, while others believed that he felt that translating the words in one's mind helped reinforce the memory of it. But maybe he just took the writer's rule of what's the opposite of that a little too literally. Or maybe he just thought it was cool, right? Not everything needs to make sense, like nonsense poems, or fascinators, or making your mascot the banana slug. Sometimes people do things just to hear people say that they're gobsmacked. And if it's not hurting anyone, then that's the kind of thing that makes life fun. Let's not wait for the stakes to be raised before we realize what we have with the beloved characters in our lives. Get out there and learn to surf, or go dancing safely, maybe buy matching hatnaders with your friends. What I'm saying is that Serenity can wait. At least I don't think it's leaving streaming anytime soon. Bonus, 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 bonus question time. The cast of Joss Whedon's 2005 film Serenity also includes notable names like Morena Baccarin, Summer Glau, Alan Tudyk, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and even Glenn Howerton of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia fame. He has a small role in it. But back to Alan Tudyk. Now his comedic performances you've probably seen in a number of movies like A Knight's Tale, Dodgeball, A True Underdog Story, and Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. But you've also probably not seen him in other movies. Instead, you just heard his voice. Like in Moana, where he was Hey Hey the Rooster, or Rogue One, where he played the android K2SO. Alan Tudyk also played another very famous robot in a movie. He was Sonny, opposite Will Smith, in the 2004 film I, Robot, which was loosely based on a novel from 1950 written by what famous science fiction author? Once again, no timer on this one, no multiple choices. I will have this answer for you at the beginning of the next episode, or feel free to go down your own rabbit hole of trivia knowledge and find out for yourself. It's really cool to look into Alan Tudyk's career. He's probably been at a lot of things you didn't realize. And hopefully we'll get to see and or hear him in a lot of projects to come. That's the show. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, follow, subscribe, whatever your podcast app has as an option. If there's a place to put stars, full stars, 5 stars, please leave a positive comment. That really helps the podcast a lot. And email me. Email the pod. TRIVI-yeah-podcast@gmail.com. You can tell me what you like about the pod, what you hate about the pod. You can send me your favorite trivia, and maybe I'll share it on the show. Guys, it's so great to have you here, and I really hope you'll be joining me again next week for another episode of TRIVI-yeah! Everything you've heard was written and produced by me, including all the music and sound bites. So if you didn't like it, well, you know who to blame. I am, of course, your host, Dean Felix. The really cool graphic, though, that was made by my friend John Oney. What a great guy, huh? Looks so good. Looks so good. TRIVI-yeah! is a Quality Yarn production.